Welcome, partners. I'm Kyle DeWitt, Vice President of Technical Services with ScanSource, and I'm glad you've joined us for a new series of content we've created on returning to the office. As our industries begin this transition to a new normal or next to normal, as some are calling it, our customers are looking to us collectively to help them navigate the technology challenges associated with getting back into the office. Today, we're bringing you a panel discussion focused on healthcare. And joining me on the panel today, I have a few experts from our suppliers, Axis, Code, and Honeywell, to discuss these trends and what they're seeing in this space. So first off, thank you guys for joining us. We'll go ladies first. I'm a proper Southern gentleman. From Honeywell, we have Phoebe Cresswell, who is the vertical marketing manager. Representing Code, we have Garrett Russell, the vice president of sales and marketing. And then from Axis, we have Paul Barada, who is the segment development manager for healthcare. So again, thank you three for joining us today. We'll start with Phoebe. So why don't you give us a quick introduction into your role and why healthcare is such a key vertical for Honeywell?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kyle, and thanks to ScanSource for having me on today. So as mentioned, I'm Phoebe Cresswell with Honeywell. I am responsible for really our healthcare go-to-market strategy here at Honeywell. So on a global scale, how we help enable our channel partners to sell into the healthcare market and the healthcare solutions that we have to provide to our healthcare end customers as well. Healthcare remains one of our primary vertical markets that we play in. So we've had a long-standing history in healthcare, not just from our division, but from Honeywell as a full global entity. So it remains a top priority for us, a top market for us, and something that we're excited to bring our solutions to.
Garrett, we'll come to you. I'm glad to see Code represented here because much like Honeywell, you guys have products that are specifically designed for this space. So why don't you give us a quick intro on
Sure.
why this market's relevant to Code?
Sure. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you, ScanSource. So I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing for Code. I've been with the company for about 12 years now, but in the barcode scanner manufacturers world for about 27 years. We've been selling into healthcare for almost 20 years, well before I joined the business. And healthcare is by far our largest vertical, represents a large portion of our revenue, and each and every product and service that we offer is designed specifically for the healthcare space and is designed to really survive the rigors of the healthcare market, which, as we know, is the most difficult to put products into as they're running 365, 24/7. So it's a very important vertical for our business.
Yep, right in your wheelhouse, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. All right, Paul, last but not least, won't you do the same? Give us a quick intro into Axis and where they play in the healthcare space.
Thank you, and thank you, ScanSource, and it's a pleasure to be on the panel with everyone. Axis Communications is a IP video, access control, and audio company. We were the founder of IP Video. And we've been in the healthcare market for a long time, providing security solutions. And over the last 3 to 4 years, we've developed more and more solutions for patient care and quality of care. And it all surrounds the safer, smarter hospital. And we're developing different solutions for patient observation and integrations with many of the different telemetry and physiological monitors. And we've been in the business and successful on the traditional security side, and we're building our market now on the patient care side.
Thank you. And I know we're all East Coasters on this call, and you and Garrett are in the Northeast, right? So you're kind
That's
of
right.
In the hotbed. So Paul, why don't we stay with you, just not just geographically, but what are you finding the biggest challenge in healthcare is right now? What are people trying to solve for?
So one of the biggest challenges I think that they're really having is access into the facility. How do they keep everybody safe in the facility? How do they keep the staff safe? And how do they keep the patients safe? there's a lot of technology that's out there today, and some of it is snake oil salesmen that are trying to sell some thermal cameras, and they're claiming they're doing certain things. And really, it's trying to get through all of that and really develop really good policies and procedures with the right technology to protect everybody.
I hate seeing opportunistic selling. I mean, we're all in the space where, a good opportunity, any opportunity is a good opportunity. But you're right. Don't get me started on body temp versus skin temp and some of the things that are happening out there around the space. And so Garrett, your company is helping healthcare providers leverage technology. I'm not sure if the clinical setting is the right place to focus, but for sure, you guys are in the same space trying to help navigate partners, help their providers with some of the very similar things that Paul outlined. But any use cases in the clinical setting that are unique to you guys?
Yeah. So when it comes to the point of care, before COVID, pre-COVID, and what we're seeing today, that hasn't changed too much. You're still scanning wristbands, scanning patient meds, and the data goes into the system. Where we've seen a surge of opportunity is within the testing space and actually specimen collection, specifically around they need scanners and devices that can scan from far away. They want to make sure the person doing the collection isn't getting too close to whoever they're getting the sample from. And then within the labs, they're trying to knock out as many tests as quickly as possible with as much of the least amount of error as possible. It's funny, I was talking to my sister last night, and she said she has friends that are getting calls that they missed their appointment, but they're getting a call that they tested positive or something, right? So there are,
oh, wow.
There are errors that are happening still within the labs, and technology that all of us on this call offer today is something that can be used to minimize errors within labs. I think they're inundated and they're trying to crank things out as quick as possible, and that's when mistakes happen.
Yeah, I don't think we get into it today, but the specimen collection and being able to track and secure all that data is a very relevant new topic that's happening right now. And
right.
So Phoebe, I know you're on the marketing side, and so you're probably connected to a lot of the trends that we're seeing out there in this space. And we've noticed, not because of COVID, not because of 2020, but healthcare has become way more competitive. You're in a very similar area.
Yes.
As I am, and there's in Greenville, there's two very large hospital systems that are competing for the same patient. There's a bunch of independent care that's out there competing for the same patient. But now we're really focused on customer experience and driving down cost and things like that. So what are some of the trends that you're seeing that are focused around that patient-centered care?
Yeah, certainly. So I think a macro trend really that we're seeing, and it's something that both Garrett and Paul both hit on, but really it's the trend of security and safety within healthcare. And that's both from a patient-centered approach. It's, healthcare providers are really being challenged now with ensuring patients that a healthcare provider facility, whether it's a hospital or a doctor's office, that they are able to provide a secure and a safe patient experience. So that's something that, we're seeing a lot of. We're also seeing a trend of patients delaying urgent care just because of that fear of, they don't want to go into a healthcare setting, and there's still a lot of concerns and risk around it. So we're trying to help healthcare providers, give them solutions to where they can ensure that patient confidence again. And so not only can they provide a safe and secure environment, but there really also is a need to provide a safe and secure environment for their staff as well. Whether that's, protective equipment, or even if it's technology tools, such as mobility solutions that we're seeing come into play. So really safety and security is at the forefront of trends right now. And for healthcare, especially in our space, unfortunately, we are also seeing the trend of cybersecurity vulnerabilities with healthcare systems. So healthcare remains one of the top industries that are targeted for cybersecurity, just given the nature of the sensitive patient data. So it's physically securing and having a safe patient environment, but it's also giving providers that security layer they need to ensure that their patient data remains safe and secure.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That cybersecurity is my new love language. So it seems to pop up in every single conversation I have right now, but it's overwhelmingly prevalent. There are so many people taking advantage of the fact that people are working from home, or that large organizations like hospitals or healthcare providers or education or large enterprises, they weren't focused on securing their data as much before they sent their workforce remote. So that's for sure relevant. I appreciate you bringing that up. This series of thought leadership pieces we're putting together that you guys are participating in are really focused on returning to the office. And I keep using the air quotes office because in the healthcare space, there's not necessarily an office. There are in the clinic world. In the hospital space, you mentioned it, Phoebe, that patients are looking for all alternative options to receive urgent care because they don't want to go into the facilities. But the healthcare providers themselves, they weren't afforded the luxury to leave like an office worker was, right?
Certainly.
And so this is you've all brought up safety of employees, safety of patients. That front door seems to be the key focus area right now in this space for sure. So I guess, Paul, we'll come back to you and let's take a little focus on what we're doing with our partners, right? So we need to enable our partners to help their customers in this space navigate all these new trends and the challenges. So what are you guys doing to help with technology buying habits now that every dollar counts in the healthcare space?
Yeah, so a couple of things that we're doing. One is it's a lot about operational efficiency and how do they use technology today, maybe existing technology that they already have invested in, and how can they use that to become more efficient, and with the real strain on staff, which is still happening in healthcare. The levels of workplace violence are still very high in healthcare. So how can they use what they have to be more efficient and be safer? And like you were saying earlier, there's this really difficult task that you have at a hospital. It's how do you make it welcoming and inviting, but also have a level of security that you can protect everybody. And it's a constant balance for people that are running the security and safety departments at a hospital. And so they're making decisions on equipment and other things by thinking about total cost of ownership, return on investment, and then really how is it going to better what we're doing today? And we're really seeing that those conversations, not just with security people, but with clinical, financial, and IT directives.
Yeah, those TCO ROI conversations, alphabet soup all of a sudden, but those two conversations are the ones that help mitigate the snake oil, right? So right. There's a lot of solutions that are being provided right now that are temporary, and it's topical and it's cultural, but there are plenty of solutions. You guys all have them where you can show a partner and their customer, yes, this meets your immediate need, but this investment you're making in technology is also forward-looking. And if you no longer need it to handle wayfinding or self-check-in, then you can do these other things with it, right? So yeah. So
I'm afraid that a lot of these purchases they're making a year or two from now are going to be in a closet somewhere catching dust.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money being spent on something that's not going to be viable in the future.
Yep. So Garrett, if we stay on script here, we're looking at reentering facilities, right? And as we've said, we've been focused a lot on the front door and that first engagement with a patient as they enter a facility. But I think one of the big trends that we're seeing right now is that healthcare providers are being almost required to take healthcare to the patient and not the other way around. So in your space, your devices, your company, your organization's devices are they're untethered, and
Right.
you can almost use them to enable a remote clinic. But in your day-to-day interactions with partners, are you seeing that healthcare facilities are working harder on getting patients back into brick and mortar, or are they investing in taking that healthcare outside the walls to the patient?
It's a good question. Great question. I think you're seeing both. Initially, and I can only speak to a few scenarios, because even for our team today, we still have trouble getting into facilities. We typically have to meet outside the facility. They don't want anyone in the hospital that isn't either a patient or a doctor. So you've seen a lot of telehealth. Now, granted, we don't sell anything telehealth today, nor can we support any of the video, things of that nature. But we've seen a decline in patients going for regular checkups, follow-up visits, elective surgeries. That's all down. But there's, as I mentioned, a big investment in telehealth. And from our perspective, it has been a move to more mobility type devices, trying to minimize the number of devices that are being used in any type of setting. And ideally, you ask any doctor, they want to see someone face to face. So they do bring somebody in, or you do go in. When it comes to the technology that we offer, it's mobility, it's protective cases, and they want to minimize devices. So we're even starting to see growth in our soft scanning product, where they can use a standard mobile phone to do the scanning, use the camera on the phone for the scanning. So to answer your question, I think you are seeing more remote type of setups, more pop-up clinics. The technology being used there is mobility. But again, ultimately the doctors, at least I've spoken to, they really want to see the patients face to face, and they need to minimize anything in the room that's going to cause the spread of infection.
Yeah, you mentioned it in there, but I mean, the fact that preventative healthcare visits are on the decline because of the fear of how to receive that type of clinical help is discouraging. I mean, we're all talking about healthcare. You could put dentistry into this bucket, right? And for as long as those clinics and facilities were closed and then reopened, there's now a boom in getting people into just for typical hygiene, for preventative services. And so there's a whole bunch of things going in, temperature scans, which we've covered, and self check-ins and things like that are just in that one vertical. All right, Phoebe, let's get to your wheelhouse. So back into the marketing space. You guys are helping our partners navigate this. What types of resources and marketing support are you providing down to your partners to help them find and or service their customers that are experiencing these challenges?
Yeah, certainly. So, I mean, this time has been a busy time for myself and for fellow marketers, and making sure that we're providing relevant content and relevant messaging to our channel partners. This time has certainly created a new challenge for us, in that healthcare providers, they have new challenges, they have new pain points, and they have new needs. So part of Honeywell's strategy in going into creating new solutions and introducing those to the market is we're really taking a step, and we're really listening to what healthcare providers not only need now, but trying to anticipate their needs of the future. So as Garrett mentioned, whether that's specific software that they're looking for, or even down to hardware. So Honeywell, is well known in the industry for our healthcare products with disinfectant ready housing. We've been providing that to the healthcare market for over a decade now. So even if it's simple things like that, we've really been trying to take the stance of addressing healthcare providers, their needs, their pain points, and trying to give our channel partners the ammunition to really help healthcare providers find the right technology for them and the right solution. There's so many out there. There's so many providers. There's so many companies that have, niche solutions or niche products. So it's really trying to educate the market on what's available, but listening to them to understand the right fit for them and what's going to benefit them the most. So we have a lot of thought leadership pieces that we've been putting out. We've done some industry research with healthcare partnerships this year, to provide just some research data points to the market. So a lot of new healthcare marketing content and asset that we've come out with over the past couple of months that we've made available to our channel partners.
Yeah, that's great. And I didn't say it at the opening, and hopefully our audience is here to hear me say it at the end, but we're all here because they're looking for trusted advisors. I mean, that's the role ScanSource plays. That's the role you guys play in delivering products and services to the channel. And so you're exactly right, Phoebe. I mean, all of the content pieces that you're creating and making available to our mutual partners help them make more educated sales, educated decisions. They combat the opportunistic sales that Paul was referencing earlier. So the more education we can provide to our partners, the better. And this is usually when I do the shameless plug that I've got a whole group of engineers, right, that are here to help represent your brand and build out full solutions that can go into a healthcare facility and accomplish whatever it is that provider is trying to accomplish. I'm going to come back to you guys for a wrap up here. We'll go round robin, a wrap up here. I would be remiss if I also didn't call out, doubling down on the cybersecurity comment earlier, that all of the products represented here and other products that are going into healthcare facilities to solve specific problems, as a partner bringing products into a non-greenfield environment, a brownfield environment, I've heard people call it. But make sure that you understand the risk that you're introducing, right? So any new device that goes onto a network is a possible breach point, and you don't need to be cybersecurity experts to deploy any of the solutions that we've talked about today. Contact these guys, contact us, let us help you navigate that field, those challenges, make sure that you understand what their requirements are. And there's plenty of managed security providers out there we can all collectively partner with. All right, so as a wrap up, I guess we'll go back, we'll go Phoebe, we'll start with you since you're still on camera here for me. So what's the single biggest piece of advice that you're giving to your partners right now as they work with their healthcare customers?
So I'd say don't be afraid of innovation. We know that new things are needed and there's new needs that come up every day. So don't be afraid to innovate, but also don't be afraid to partner. A lot of, resellers, a lot of our channel partners, I hate to say it, it's cheesy, but you are not in this alone. There are so many manufacturers, like Honeywell, like Code, like Axis, who we're all working towards, the same industry to help provide and give solutions. So don't be afraid to partner with your manufacturers and with a lot of the software providers out there. I think a full solution is what a lot of healthcare providers are looking for. And sometimes really strong partnerships can breed the best solution. So don't be afraid to partner and don't be afraid to innovate.
Yep, they're looking for that one back to pat, as I call it, right? So they're looking for that one partner to go to, not just a single piece. Mm-hmm. Garrett, same thing for you.
Sure.
What kind of advice are you giving to your partners right now?
What a lot of folks seem to forget is that, hospitals and any ancillary healthcare facilities are really businesses. They have a P&L, debt load, they're hiring, they're furloughing staff. So what my biggest piece of advice would be, look at any news surrounding any facilities you're looking into selling to. Are they doing any major new installations? Are they buying a lot of products? Are they acquiring facilities? This is a good sign that they're in a good place financially right now and during this crisis, and they could be buying equipment, buying any of the products that any of us are offering here today. On the flip side, are they furloughing staff? They taking on a lot of debt? Is there any negativity surrounding the facility? They're selling off different pieces of their company. That means they're likely not in a great cash position financially. And then the last thing would be, if they're quiet right now, you don't see anything related to news. It could be that they're likely in a wait and see mode. Maybe projects are getting pushed out. Doesn't mean the projects are dead. They're just waiting to see how this virus is going to play out, how it's going to affect them financially. And you just need to maybe touch base with them, see what's going on. And perhaps there is a project in the short term which you can sell into. And we would greatly, of course, support anything you do. But again, you want to look for the areas where you see a lot of positivity
Yeah, and those quiet ones might not know the questions to ask, right?
That's
so
correct.
It's at least worth that first phone call just to find out why they're so quiet. Yep.
That's right.
All right, Paul, wrap us up here.
Well, there's two tough people to follow, Garrett and Phoebe. I don't know. Thanks, guys. I would say that it's really important to reach out to those end customers and be involved and ask them what they need, and don't be afraid to ask them what they need. Knowing that you can hopefully give them something or get the right person in front of them, maybe Code or Honeywell that has those different solutions. It doesn't necessarily mean that when I talk to somebody, it's all access. I'm looking to better the hospital as a thought leader, and it could be bringing in other partners. So it's really important to listen to what they need and help them. One of the things that's out there right now is the CARES Act. In the CARES Act, there's a lot of funding that's there that they can use, and they may not even know about that. So you want to do some research, understand what's happening, be there with them. Another thing that I've done is I've paid for dinners and lunches for different shifts on the departments, just to say thank you for what you're doing and saving lives. And there's two things that come out of that. One is the joy that I get from somebody calling me and saying thank you, and the other thing is that they know that we care. So hopefully it was hard to wrap up after the other two, though, I'll tell you.
No, that's great. I want to pull one thing out of there. You guys don't have the luxury of continuity. I was on the first one of these that we did with many of your peers, the second one, and to a person, everyone has said, listen, like that's to me, that's the single biggest piece of advice that a partner can have going into a customer. Don't go in talking, don't go in pitching, listen to what they're trying to solve for, and then help them solve those problems. That's where we all become the trusted advisor. So, all right. So I'll wrap things up today. Again, thank you very much, Access Code, Honeywell. We appreciate the three of you joining us for this piece today. This is, again, as I said at the opener, this is one of a series that we're creating. Lots more information on the ScanSource website on returning to office in this vertical and other verticals. And with that, partners, I will thank you for your business and hope to talk to you very soon.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. Thanks for your time.